Hello, welcome to another episode of TJ Photos. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said in my initial videos, what I want to concentrate on is budget photography for the average hobbyist photographer. Because, as I stated before, you get a lot of videos on YouTube which do tell a lot of good equipment, and they do say this is great, and they give some really good reviews. I understand that. But to be told, get this lens, is the ideal lens for doing, I don't say portraiture, but it'll only cost you £1,700. Is that the average cost for someone in a hobby? I don't think so. I don't spend that kind of money, I don't have that kind of money, and this is the point. And I just want to give you an example of where I went from. When I first started, I had a D40X with a 18 to 135 lens, which I bought second hand from Castle Cameras in Salisbury. As the time went on a little bit, I then went and bought myself this one. It's a D5000 12 megapixel camera. The main reason why I went for this after the D40X is purely for the tilt screen, because I was trying to do things. I was holding it up above my head, I was trying to get down low, and I wanted to be able to do that without having to try and squeeze myself into positions, and that's the main reason why I chose that. That camera you can still get second hand on eBay for about £120 to £140. You can get the lens, that's it, this one, which is the 18 to 135. It's a zoom lens, it's a good lens for what it does, and you can still get some cracking shots with it. And that you can get on there for less than £100. So in total, £225 will get you a good rig to start with. For example, I mean, people say you can't do much because it's only 12 megapixel and it's a consumer camera, you ain't going to get the quality. Nuts to it. I've been using that camera when I was on tour in Iraq. I've used it for multiple modelling shoots and for a few weddings that I've been asked to do for family and friends. For an example to say what it does, that one there's of my best friend Ellie, who was the one who actually got me into doing the model photography. Again, that's with this camera. It is what it is. Zooming in, you can't beat. It is sharp. So when they say you can't do it, that's wrong. You can. Next, when we talk about this was a young lady who wanted something done. She didn't know much about it, so I went along, done a little shoot for her. She loves a picture. Can you go big size with it? It's only 12 megapixel. Well, that will print onto an A3 sheet of paper, not a problem. As far as, again, consumer camera, can you shoot a wedding with it? Can you do this with it? Can you do that with it? Well, you tell me. This was a friend of mine who I served in the army with. She got married a few months ago, and she asked me to do the photography for her. Again, it was all done with the D5000. It's a budget. It's all done on a budget. I didn't have any special equipment with me. I didn't have any fancy umbrellas and flash guns off to the side. All this was done literally just from the 5000 on manual setting with auto ISO. This one here. This was actually a family wedding. Well, I say family wedding. I grew up with her father, so therefore we are basically one big family. She's like a daughter to me, and she had a professional photographer that turned up to do the wedding photos, but they were only turning up from the church. And I turned around to her, well, what about all the pre-shoot, the bits that really matter, the bits that make the album? Oh no, we've got none of that. I said, right, I'll bring my gear down. And I brought my gear down, and these bits matter. So we've got that, and okay, granted it was a really bright sunny day, but again, the quality, and that's a 12 megapixel camera. So we are talking budget, cheapness, what we can do, what we can't do. So because, I mean, when I've been doing these weddings, I did find it hard, especially in low light situation, because it's not that great in low light. So I've been looking at upgrading. I've recently bought myself a Nikon D5000, which, when I've done a lot of research on it, the ISO capability, in its day it was the pinnacle low light monster, and it is a monster. And I bought that purely to do the low light situation. But again, it is what it is. I paid what was it? Well, less than £1,000. As £650, I think it was. I paid for the camera. Again, when you're talking a budget, that's next to nothing for what you got what the camera is. But even so, going back to this camera, talking A3 prints. Again, that's A3. Look at the quality. You can't argue with that. This was from a group shoot that was done a while ago. That one there. Can you print big with it? That's the thing. I've done a shoot with a D3S. It's the same megapixel camera, and I wanted to see how big I can shoot, how big a print I can do. And I thought I'd blow one up. This picture here, it's blown up to go for a 20 by 30 print, and I thought, I wonder how that actually looks when it's printed off. So I used this picture, I put it down to an A4 page on Photoshop, put this picture on top of it so it's as is, and that is how clear it is. 12 megapixel for a 20 by 30 print. Do you need to spend all the extra money on getting 24 megapixel, 36 megapixel? No, you don't. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed what I've briefly outlined on the budget side of life. If you've got any questions, please leave it below. Any comments, leave below, and subscribe, and I will endeavour to answer any questions and get all the information you want as soon as possible. Thank you.